Hey guys, Walt Dickinson here, founder, brewer at Wicked Weed Brewing, and it is Dark Arts time. I mean, Dark Arts is the biggest ABV beer we do here at Wicked Weed. We started brewing it the second year of the company, and it always evolves. It comes out of the sour program, we do it in the Funkatorium, and I think it was our way of giving our Wicked Weed spin on the idea of a high ABV stout. So the first year, we just put it in bourbon barrels, and we wanted to do a 15% stout. So what we did, the twist on it we did was we put it in bourbon barrels, but then we did a fermentation with Brettanomyces. So we're using our native wild yeast culture that we use here in the sour program instead of a traditional Saccharomyces or a normal brewer's yeast, which anybody who makes a big stout usually does. And I think it lended a cool character to the beer, so we've always continued in that vein. So it's still produced out of this program. Every year we use different barrels. First it was bourbon, the next year it was tequila, year after that, no, I think next year it was rum. The year after that it was tequila, and then last year we did bourbon, rum, and tequila. Okay, so we kind of did the trifecta last year. This year, and there's always a coffee variant. And I'm holding the coffee variant right now. We've got a new package for it this year in the new bottle, which I think really speaks to the brand. I mean, I'm just so proud of what we did here. But after doing that, we want to change it up again. I never want to make the same thing with this beer. It always needs to evolve. So this year we brought in Scotch barrels that were formerly port barrels. So they were port barrels that were then sent to Scotland. They aged Scotch in those port barrels, and then that's what we have. So it's very much a Scotch barrel, but it's a little less char on it than a traditional Scotch barrel that's used as a secondary. You know, it was a bourbon barrel, and then it becomes a Scotch barrel. This is a port wine barrel that then became a Scotch barrel. So just better for the program. I think a layer of complexity, but still has all those kind of intense Scotch notes that you look for. The kind of high-pitched, smoky, it's peaty character to the liquor. As always, wax dipped. I mean, one of the more challenging beers for you to open, but I think the wax dip and the whole experience of working to get this thing open makes it part of the experience of the beer. So anyways, you pop the cap off, cut the wax, pop the cap off, and then just for one more layer of an awesome experience, we're going to go ahead and pull that cork again. And just to go back to, there's this magic right here. It's about to happen when this happens. I mean, that just says special experience, right? I mean, I think wine did such a good job of showcasing how to make something feel romantic, and I think the cork plays such an important role. I just can't say enough about how important this cork has been to driving the experience of high-end beer. This says wine, this says champagne, this says those moments that are special. So anyways, 15%, well, I think it's a little lower than that this year. Where are we at? Are we at 15%? Should be 15%. Hold on. 14.5%. 14.5%. And this is the Espresso. So obviously just a big stout aged in the port barrels, the port Scotch barrels. This one gets a coffee edition. So we're working with Mountaineer Roasters, Marshall Hance there. I think one of the most brilliant roasters in the Southeast right now. We've been working with him for a long time. So a custom roast for us on this, and we're adding an espresso roast to it. So it just layers in a really nice, rich coffee character. As you can see, very little head retention to this thing because it's so thick, very dry, aged in that barrel. It's got all that coffee in it. And just insanely drinkable for 14.5%. I mean, you would never know compared to a lot of beers you drink out there. This does not feel hot. It's just smooth, rich. You're getting textural barrel character. There's good body to it. Pretty high carbonation, again, because of the Brettanomyces. I think this just really speaks to the power of Brettanomyces and what it's capable of doing. So Dark Arts, a special beer for a special time of year. So don't miss the launch event at the pub and get your hands on a bottle. Cheers.